So, waiting for glue to dry here. It only uses 3 rows of this rubber NDfeb magnet. Who knows, I'm not sure if this is... well, yeah, we'll see. It might not be enough. It's a rather smallish panel. So 45 centimeters. It's the less ideal size in any case, but you have to remember I only have 10 meters of this magnet, don't want to spoil it all. And this gives me maybe a bit more opportunity to measure the SPL, which, if I make it larger, does not change all that much. Because it's mostly the high frequencies that determine if it will work or not. Making the panel much higher doesn't contribute to the high frequencies because they, let's say a 2 meter line source, it doesn't do much. As in, usually it gets more bass heavy when you do, which is nice, but and the high frequencies remains the same, at the same impedance. At least that's what I noticed. Might be wrong there, or do not remember correct. Well, that's drying. Here's a blank foil drying. And in the shed, I made 2 of these panels, but first gonna try one. Here I got this set up to cut the coil, but now I have to draw one first. Did it fail? Did it fail? Do, 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 do. Looks like it didn't fail. So, now I got the coil on wax paper so I can get it off later on. Focus. So I foiled it so it has mylar on it. As you can see, 3 magnets, and behind it there is filth at the spaces where it's not driven. This is the coil, and we're gonna attach it, hopefully. You never know. Hopefully we can get it off. That would be nice. could have made this connection point a bit beefier. It's very tiny. Not the smartest thing, but that's what it is for now. Really tiny. That might be stupid. This is our cable relief. Oh wow, it's high. 6.3. I opted for 3 point something, but... So these tracks can be wider. That's nice, because I think they're rather thin looking. Okay. Small panel. Probably this undriven area will give a lot of trouble. We'll see. So, I've, well, finished it. Can't say I finished it. It's just the first test panel. The traces are too small. They're 1.1 millimeter, but I could get away with like 2 millimeters, since the impedance is 6.4 ohms or something. I have to look it up. The backside has thick metal, well, 2 millimeter, because I don't have 1 millimeter in this configuration. The holes are 5 millimeter and they are spaced apart from center to center, 8 millimeters. So it's called R5T8. Has some damping on the back. I added some tapes to the undriven area. So dispersion is really good, or rather good. I mean, the width is, well, dome size. In the measurements, there are certainly some problems. And I always get these problems with membranes that are much wider than the driven area. Although the Carver ribbon and I believe the B&G RD 40 and 50, etc., they have the same setup, and the Stratec as well, the one I repaired. But they don't, I don't know. This is a stretch membrane and they use like a corrugated sort of stretch membrane. Might have to fiddle around with that maybe. So far SPL is around 86, 85, let's say 85. I compared it to the woofer that is 86.6. It is as loud, above 900 Hertz. So I'm not sure what to do with the below 900. Might be going in the height. It might compensate. So then we'll, let's say 85 dB at this moment. There is a peak dip, well, I think it is breakup of the undriven area, 1K, 2K. So I have a notch at 2K, that's about it. Crossed at 450 at the moment, 12 dB per octave filter. Resonance is around 300. I don't know about this method, but it was a test for the magnets, what they can do, or if I'm able to make a large tweeter that can be used pretty low. It might, with different metal and maybe different setup altogether. But at least with the same magnets, I think it is possible. I have a ruler as a baffle, as you can see, on only one side. So not very awesome. I'll play one tune, and then I'm gonna watch the video I made to see if it's 6.4 ohm. So I can calculate back to 3.4, which is the DC resistance of most of the BNG drivers. So I guess I get like 1 dB, maybe 2 dBs back. That will be great. That will make it 86, 87. If it is 87, I'm very pleased, because that's in the ballpark I mentioned yesterday. That will be great. A little bit higher would be even better, but I don't think that will happen. Maximum excursion at this moment is 1 millimeter, and I don't think it ever reaches that at this moment. So I'm not even sure if that 1 millimeter is necessary if you play it from 400 Hertz. I don't think it is. So that could be smaller, or the magnet could be a tiny bit taller, like 3.5 millimeters, which makes the X-Max a little bit smaller, but also a little bit more output. Something to think about. Maybe I'll set you over here. Is there more light? Tiny bit. Recorder is behind us at 1 meter distance. Behind the camera at least, not behind me. Boop. And we'll play the same tune we played earlier. It was called 1,000 Kisses Deep. No lyrics. The tweeter is very directional, vertical, as you can imagine. Now I'll put the big guns in there and attach it to there. See how that corresponds, because that's the final goal. Pardon me. The tweeter is at this moment -6 or -7.5 to the woofer, because the woofer is, their efficiency is stated at 1K, I believe, or 2K. So at 2K they are kind of the same efficiency, but if you cross them lower than 2K or 1K, the tweeter must be padded to make it flat. Otherwise you get a huge bump in the 500 to 2K area. Yeah, I'll switch over to the planar. Let's see how that does. Might need to measure it a little bit, but we're gonna play the same tune and see what it does. Could be fun. Might not be. Let me clap still. Be right back. Okay, so I switched it over, adjusted the crossover a little bit. The tweeter is -9 dB now to match up with this panel. So there's plenty of room to play around, even with this tiny panel. If it becomes bigger, doesn't mean the SPL goes up all that much, but especially the low end will benefit. So below the 900 Hertz, I guess, I'm pretty sure it will gain. And hopefully it will gain straight to 300 or 400. 400 would be great. And that would be an awesome tweeter for this panel. Maybe not this panel, well maybe this panel, but something similar. Same tune. This time no sub, because this panel can take it. It doesn't go as low, of course, but it will manage. Let's try it. I hear a beep, so I have to disable my analog. There we go. Did I clap? I'm not sure. Oh, I did not push record. Ow. So that's the planar magnetic playing with the tiny panel, or tiny. Even less efficient than that tiny woofer. They can play louder though, but the coil design can improve the high frequencies by having more coil, so it looks smoother. And I think the metal is in the way, and I think the undriven areas, I'm not very pleased with it. It works, but it creates some problems as well. Anyhow, I know that this magnet is more than enough for this kind of panel. If I use rubber magnet for the low end, I can get away with easily using only 3 rows of this magnet to do the tweeter part. Because I'm 90 dB down right now. I have shitload of room to play with. So the whole speaker is not very efficient. 82 or something, I don't know. But yeah, the tweeter at least has room to spare. See you next time. Maybe I'll make a second one just to have a listen. But probably with the new coil. See you later. Bye bye.